Hello and welcome back to Closed Circuit Sports. I'm Drew Goldman, and this is just a practice. Cause, Root didn't go well, to be honest. And I was doing the voiceovers for the videos and realizing I didn't have anything good to say about that weekend. There was a lot that I learned, sure, but I was just being far too negative. So I'm gonna skip it for now and either add some context or try to be more measured, because I think I had misgauged my expectations going into the season. Yes, I wanted to learn how to do everything, but I didn't think I was gonna have to do everything myself out the gate. So once that was pretty much made clear to me, I was like, okay, let's get back on the bike like right away. Because I'm not trying to exaggerate. It was a bit of a nightmare for a racing driver, somebody who thinks they're quick, to just be getting overtaken left and right and not know why, but know that it's not anything you're doing, nothing drastic. Like, you're having to overcompensate for the fact that you're 2 seconds a lap slower than everybody else. But what the hell's the problem? So I came back out the next day after the Sunday that was day 2 of Route.
We were just strolling.
And Burpo was kind enough to be my chaperone. There was really nobody else on track, so this was a very scenic practice. And I needed this. I needed some actual therapy time. It is a 2-stroke chassis that is currently set up stock out of the box this event. Had to go look at the track real quick and make sure that the exit was the same. My confidence was at the floor. Had the practice suit on from Daytona. I was trying to be comfy. And really all I wanted to do was see if I could go faster than I had gone. At the end of the day, at Route, because I had gotten faster over the course of the whole event, just nowhere near as fast as everybody else was. It was a wake-up call. It was a measuring stick. It was a baptism by fire. It was God, every freaking platitude you could use. Yup. It was a learning experience. No, I was not ready. Yes, I should have been told that. But it is what it is. It's in the past. It could have gone worse. For me or for anybody else. I still hadn't finished last at this point yet. I had just been the last finisher a bunch of times. Which still isn't where you want to be, but at least you're finishing all your laps and you're not always getting lapped, and hey, finally, this was the beginning of the pivot.
Dave, I'm Drew.
If Root was the Empire Strikes Back, this was the beginning of episode 6. We're returning. The Jedi are returning.
I'm Drew. It's nice to
Because it's like golf, man. This is a pursuit.
So I'll be around. Cool. I'll be around.
And it got better from here. I started actually
Good stuff. That's awesome. You know Kyle then?
Yeah,
connecting the
They're all awesome.
systems.
They are good guys.
they're a hoot.
Yeah.
They're growing quick.
That's
This time
true.
next year, they'll be huge.
And the ways that they impact each other.
Yeah, a lot of tracks are starting to get in on them in all the different series.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear
Instead
that.
of individual things making individual changes.
That's very true. May I bum start? Thank you so much.
Trying to understand what made my cart different from other people's carts. It's a 2-stroke chassis with a 4-stroke engine on it. I didn't realize what that meant implicitly. Burpo, on the other hand, was able to diagnose it pretty damn quick. It's a very pretty session. I definitely went the wrong way. Oh my god. Hung a Yui real quick. Thank God there was no one else on track. But if there had been, I guess I would have been able to follow the flow. That was an issue that I had with how route went. I had no preparation because I was playing catch up on the cart when I pulled up. I should have done that the whole week leading up to practice on Friday if I was running it myself. I think I thought there was a night that would be coming that we would all work on the carts together, but it never came. Or they all had their own nights independently, and I was like, so when are we getting together? It's a very, very much a self-starter sport. Even if you have a team you're rocking with, you gotta tell them what you need. They're not gonna do it for you. But I was picking up on the fact that they didn't have the bandwidth to do it for me. So I just wanted to have backup there while I did things so that I could have people to ask questions of when I needed to. But that wasn't really on the table either. There were moments though that you could find, like this day with Burpo, where he was at work at K1, and I was like, shoot, let me come practice and see if I can bend your ear a little bit. And you can see how much grip this cart has, and you can also see the way that the camera's drifting. It's giving us some pretty shots, but the main Allen key screw was not tightened down all the way. It was just thumb tightened. So I'm really lucky that it didn't rattle out further than it moved here. But it'll swing back over, it'll swing back left. And it'll give us some cool shots over the next few laps here. But I only did the one stint because I was starting to realize that it was the setup, because I hadn't done anything to adapt the 2-stroke cart to the 4-stroke motor. We were still rocking the out-of-the-box setup. Was it even possible for me to achieve the times that other people were achieving with the setup that I had at that point in time in the dry? No. I had this thing set up for maximum grip with a 2-stroke attached. Okay, so it was actually set up more grippy than it should have been set up for the rain. I had the torsion bar in the front. I had caster out. I had camber, negative camber. I still have negative camber. I still have caster out. But thank God we've finally, since this, I have gotten the axle chopped down to the 1,000 millimeters like it ought to be. I do have some rear hub spacers in to try and basically make the fronts act like they're further in without moving them in further, because I don't have all the all the settings yet for the front and the rear hubs, so I just have different alignments basically that I can play with, like plus and minus. Anyway, we're growing from here, but I have actual like setup principles now that I can comprehend, internalize, visualize, understand the changes that it would incur, because now I've made enough of these changes to the cart and could change them back and know what they would do. That, hey, like, I think I could probably put this cart in KA at this point and do a decent job. That kid has a KA for the record, or what do you call it, a Swift. It's a 2-stroke. I wasn't battling. He was not my fight. I really love this track in the evening. It's just one of the prettiest places I've ever driven a kart. And all the different configurations of this track make it just always fun. I think I aimed too high trying to put Sierra on my plate this year as well, in addition to the Indy Karting Challenge. Because when I said I'm gonna do the Indy Karting Challenge, I didn't say one class. I said I'm gonna do light and medium, because I was gonna do medium and heavy, or whichever two I would be allowed to do, because they would be like morning and afternoon. I wanted to do a morning session and an afternoon session. But that actually doubled up, of course, all of the races that I was planning on doing, which is a good thing for gaining experience without having to spend a whole bunch of the budget on travel. It also gives me a chance to do pretty well in the afternoon session, because I'll have had the whole morning sessions to actually race on it already and lock in and race carefully, right? I'm trying to learn about racecraft, but I also understand that like each race is supposed to be its own race, and if the move is on, you make the move. It's not like, and this is the final, so I can make the move now. That's not the mentality you should ever go racing with. I got some of that firsthand at Sierra, where it was like I wasn't racing any differently than I normally do, but it just worked out this way this weekend. And it was a bummer, but it was also like, hey, it's okay, that's how it goes sometimes. Literally. It was about time, you know what I mean? So, I'm grateful that everything has gone as smoothly as it has to this point, and that I have gotten as much learning out of the relationships that I've had to this point as I've been able to. But networking is a giant part of karting and racing in general, if not the biggest. And I'm getting live reps at that too. I'm getting opportunities to have conversations that are setting up more opportunities. Whether I can take them yet or not, we shall see. But what I'm realizing is that I was learning how to stay resilient in spite of my ignorance to all the setup bogus. But now that I have a lot of the setup bogus figured out, as a result of days like this,
Burpo, were you waving me in?
I'm getting close.
Okay.
Every time I go out, I'm getting closer. It was not close at the beginning of the year.
Well, shit, if I can reach the pedals.
We learn, we grow,
I like.
and we gain on the leaders. I'm Drew Goldman. This is Closed Circuit Sports. And I will see you next time for, I believe it's IKC round 3 coming up next. Peace.